I'm gonna set you off on your untimely review, and then
Yeah.
we're gonna wrap up the show. So, Adam, you're coming to us with an untimely review. So, if you are new here, we are not influential enough, as shown by the fact we are not nominated for content creators on the Game Awards. And we are too broke to get games quickly, and we have jobs, so we don't get to play them quickly. So, we review games on our own dime and on our own time, making them untimely reviews. Adam, what do you have for us this week?
Well, it's not exactly untimely because as I'm learning, my way of getting reviews in on the show is by cheating and just using Game Pass to get all my games in. So I ended up playing a game called Unpacking, which we probably talked about. I think it was IGN summer, around the summertime that this trailer came out. And I thought it looked really neat because it was just a game about like, it was a really, really indie game. It felt like, an old school, like, it had like Game Boy Advance level graphics, and it's just about like unpacking stuff out of a box and just putting it away and just putting it on shelves. And it just felt like super, super chill. And very much like my review of Coffee Talk, I'm going to get a very similar response here where I say this game is so amazing because of how chill it is. The music isn't nearly as good as Coffee Talk. My God, Coffee Talk kills it with its soundtrack. And again, there's no real story. I mean, there's sort of a story to Unpacking. You're basically just over the course of this person's life, you're just going from their childhood home to working their way to when they move out for college. And then they move into another place, they move into another place, and you move into a new place, you're starting a family. Like, it's the whole journey. And it's just slowly unpacking. And the only bit to the story is that you'll see stuff consistently as time moves on. Like, you'll see stuffed animals that carry with you all the way through. There are certain books that you'll keep carrying. They're like, your Game Boy will come with you through a bunch of times. So it's little touches like that ends up feeling really sweet. And because of the game's graphical charm that it has to it, it's a very, very charming looking game. And again, in its simplicity, it's really hard not to get a little bit carried away with it, because if you're like me and have a bit of a, I can't say OCD with a straight face because it's not diagnosed, but like I definitely do have a very perfectionist, things have to be where they really are supposed to be kind of vibe to myself. So to play a game like this, it was really satisfying to like slowly mess around with the shelves, trying to get everything to balance out so that, all the books were on the shelf in the right sizes, so there weren't like a weird small book in between a bunch of tall books and things like that. And I ended up really enjoying that part of it. And like I said, it's not the most complicated thing. And like Coffee Talk, I would give it a 10 out of 10, but I have to dock 1 point off of it for one specific reason. It's still a puzzle game, which means you have to put things in somewhat of a specific area.
Yeah.
And to the developers of Unpacking, you can't tell me I can't put my Game Boy in the bathroom. Like, stop judging me. For the most,
like, you shouldn't sit in the bathroom that long.
Well, look, if I want to put something
there... That's
there...
not normal, Adam.
Why am I not allowed to?
Eat some fiber.
And also, by the time I think I get to a certain place, I'm like 30 potentially. Why am I putting stuffed animals on my bed still? What am I, a child? There's some weird decision. Like, I think my only complaint with this game is just the fact that it actually forces me to put stuff in certain spots. And I'm like, but then it's not actually about unpacking, is it? Because it's not me unpacking, it's me playing this person unpacking, which isn't as fun because now I gotta be a different person when I can just throw stuff wherever I feel like.
Yeah, so my question is, like, is it sort of a thing where it's more like IKEA furniture where everything has a set place and you just
not quite, but like when you finish putting, like when every box has been emptied and everything has been placed, everything that is not where it's supposed to be will be having like this red outline on it, and it'll make some sort of a sound to tell you, hey, you need to move this somewhere else. And there were a couple of cases where I'm moving stuff and just dropping it everywhere because I can't figure out where the game wants me to put it. There was one item that I still, like, as it comes out of the box, I have no idea what it looks like. And it isn't until I just started messing around and I randomly put it on the fridge and I realized it was a koala fridge magnet, and it did not look like a koala in that default sprite. So there's little things like that that kind of ticked me off. Because that broke the immersion. That broke the I'm just chilling. Because I went from, oh, this is really chill. And like I was fine for like 2 levels. Level 3 is when I had that first problem and I went, no, this is stupid. This is stupid. Why am I spending a minute trying to figure out where this one tiny thing that I can't even identify is? There's a couple of objects that aren't obvious. Like, you can tell what a laptop looks like, what a stuffed animal looks like, what a book looks like, but there are a couple objects that if they had just had, like, if you right-clicked it, it would say what the item was. Maybe you could get a better idea of what you were actually holding. Because there were a couple of cases where you just stare at this thing and being like, I don't even know what you are. How do I know where you go?
So in terms of gameplay, is there like any sort of challenge, or is it just a completion mark?
It is completely just completing it.
Okay.
Like with Coffee Talk, it's more just go through it. It's just really a relaxing experience. And that's what I knew going in, and I was pretty happy to know that was indeed the case. Because when I first saw the trailer, I went, all right, so this is going to be kind of like Coffee Talk, where I just boot up the game, do a couple of levels, and just kind of like, take a moment to not be freaking out at whatever game I'm playing currently.
All right. And real quick, like, how long did it take you? Like, what do you think the average runtime is going to be for this game? Is it like pretty short?
3 to 4 hours. It's like, I think it's like eight levels, I think.
Okay.
And most of them, like, the first one will only take you like 10 minutes because it's one room, and it starts evolving into 2 rooms, and then now there's a map in the top left corner that gives you like 5 different rooms that you got to do stuff for. So
then it like goes through and like you're downsizing to like retirement and putting everything in storage.
I did have to move back into my parents' place, so I guess there is some realism to that.
I'm gonna rephrase. I'm gonna play this game, but I'm gonna frame it like I am a mob witness, and I am just constantly having to relocate as I evade the mob hitmen coming after me.
But yeah, it again, like, I don't think I could play this in one run. I've played it in 3 different installments, because it's like you do a couple of levels and you're fine. It's nothing that like is going to change anything. And I'm giving it a 9 out of 10 because for what it is, it does a fantastic job of it, other than the fact that it's a little bit judging in where you put stuff. But
Fair
like,
enough.
It's not saying that, oh, it's as good as like a death loop. It's just more like, hey, for what it is, it's pretty good at what it does. It does exactly what it sets out to do.
Yeah, not every game has to be the same thing. It's just about, setting out a purpose, and did you stick the landing on that purpose?
All it was supposed to do is it relaxing? And the answer was, yeah, it's very relaxing. Except for the 10 seconds that you're bitching about where a fridge magnet's supposed to be.